Hey, it's Job, and the first month of 2018 is finally over, which means I can finally talk about my favorite things of this month. So let's just dive into it. First up, we have The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, and this is actually the first book that I read this year, and it's the only book that I read this year, which is kind of sad, but I started reading this in 2017, but I lost the book for a bit, and then I found it, and I started reading it in January, and I really liked it. It was a nice read because I haven't read a nonfiction book in a really long time, and it kind of just reminded me of the readings that I used to do when I was in uni, which was nice, and it's really interesting. If you're interested about how epidemics start and how social epidemics and movements start, you should definitely check this book out. Next up, we have Serial Magazine Volume 14. Serial is a publication that deals with lifestyle and travel content, and the magazine is stunning. The layouts are amazing, and the photography is A+. I love how it is a matte paper magazine, so it isn't that typical shiny paper, and it's very similar to Kinfolk if you've ever looked or read a Kinfolk magazine. I think this is a quarterly magazine just like Kinfolk, and it deals with the same topics as Kinfolk, so definitely check this out. It's very inspiring. Volume 14 was probably one of my favorite ones that I've read. I think I've only read another volume, I think it was volume 10, and this was actually a gift. One of my goals for 2018 is to be more informed with the news and just to stay updated with the world around me. So I decided to grab a subscription of The Economist, and I actually ended up getting this for really cheap. So I got this letter from my alma mater, or my alumni society from my old university, and they were offering 12 weeks of The Economist for $12, which is amazing, and it's a really great deal. I know The Economist is really expensive, so I took that deal, and I've been liking it. You get the physical copy and the digital copy, and the digital version of The Economist is amazing because you can actually listen to the news instead. So it's kind of like a podcast form, and I really like it because you can read or listen to it, and if you're on public transit or you're in the car, you can actually just listen to your news, which is great for people who don't have time to read or just don't like reading the news. So I highly suggest this if you have trouble sitting down and reading the news. In late 2017, I grew an interest in pencil crayons, or colored pencils. Apparently, pencil crayons is a very Canadian term, but anyways, I got this Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencil in Scarlet Red, I believe, and this is shade 118. And I actually really like this because I never owned any of these high quality pencil crayons or colored pencils, and these write amazing. I can't even compare them to anything that I've written with before because I'm just so used to these really basic and cheaper pencil crayons. There's nothing wrong with cheaper pencil crayons, but I didn't know that you could have such a smooth pencil crayon. I love how buttery and smooth it writes, and when you press really hard on the pencil or you put a lot of pressure on it, the lead doesn't break, which is still amazing. It kind of blows my mind actually, and I highly suggest this if you want to splurge and treat yourself and get your pencil crayons in your favorite colors and shades. In 2018, I stopped daily journaling in the sense that I stopped creating a 2-page spread every single day. It's kind of crazy, but I actually used to do that when I was living in Korea because I really wanted to document that time. But now that I'm back home, I just wanted to take a chill pill and just kind of relax on that. And I feel like I was really pressured to create a 2-page spread every single day when I was living abroad. But now I'm just being a little bit more free with my journaling style, and now I have this blank insert that is a catch-all journal. So I create journal spreads in there, but I also write notes and ideas, and I love this because it gives me the freedom to do whatever I want with my journal. And since a lot of us planners, that sounds weird, and other journalists like to compartmentalize our things into different journals and inserts, it's nice to kind of just have that freedom to do whatever you want in an insert, and that's what I'm doing with this blank insert. I freaking love these zebra mildliners. I kind of wish I did not donate the rest of them to my friends when I was leaving Korea. I just had so much stationery when I was leaving and I had to destash, so I gave them away, but I kept this gray one, and this one is by far my favorite. But if I still had the rest of the set, I would probably be using them now too. But I like this because it's in a light gray shade, and it's a total contrast from the garish colors that come in highlighter sets in North America or in the rest of the world. I know a lot of bullet journalists use this, and I like to use this when I am actually working on my bullet journal as well. So I use it for a lot of titles, and you can use the bullet tip end, which is nice, which is a different feature from most highlighters in North America, and it also comes with the chisel tip, which is more common in highlighters in North America. But definitely check out the zebra mildliners if you don't like the neons of the highlighters that you see in most stores. I didn't do that much stationery shopping in Paris, but I did pick up a few things, and one of my favorite things that I got was this Ohto Sharp Pencil 2.0, and funny enough, this is not from a Paris-based brand. This is actually from the Japanese brand called Ohto, and it's from the Delphonic store in the Louvre, so I guess that counts, and it is still part of my Paris stationery haul. I actually don't have a formal video, but go check out my Instagram story highlights to see the other things that I got. My Instagram is @JobsJournal if you didn't know, and that's the end of this shameless plug. But anyways, I like this pencil because it's kind of a mix between a mechanical pencil and a non-mechanical pencil, in that it uses lead, but you can dispense the lead using the clicky thing at the end of the eraser, just like a mechanical pencil, but you still have to sharpen the lead like any other pencil. So you get the best of both worlds, and I just like how it writes. It's a perfect width for my giant chunky hands, and I can't wait to use it in the future. If you're going to buy one thing after watching this video, get these Elmer's washable markers. These are amazing and very affordable. I believe they were $2 or $3 at the dollar store, and I got these when I was filming the dollar store journaling challenge, and I highly recommend these because these are great if you're just getting into brush lettering, or if you just want some cheaper alternatives to the Tombow brush pens. I know those brush pens are really expensive, and they are really good pens, and they give you a lot of line variation if you are getting into calligraphy and brush lettering, but these Elmer's washable markers do the job, and they are affordable. The colors are great, and for $2 you can't really go wrong. I really like this because it has inspired me to use brush pens or just markers. Again, I haven't been using my markers, and I've been favoring pencil crayons, but definitely check these out if you want to get re-inspired and start using markers again. My favorite podcast for the beginning of 2018 so far is the Optimal Living Daily podcast, and this podcast is hosted by Justin Malik, and he basically summarizes a lot of famous blog posts from famous self-development, growth, self-help, and minimalism blogs, and he obviously gets permission from the author first, and he actually condenses those blog posts down and he reads them to you. He has a really soothing voice, and the podcast is only about 10 to 12 minutes at the longest, and it's a daily podcast, which is amazing. And basically the main goal of this podcast is to optimize your daily life. So that's actually the catchphrase that they use all the time, and it's great because you get a lot of tidbits of knowledge every single day, and you feel like you're learning and growing each day when you listen to this. It's amazing. I was listening to this before my workouts, and it just really lifted my mood, and it was a really good refresher on a whole bunch of things that you already knew or you've read or heard in different blog posts or different books that you've read, but it just condenses it down to a really sizable and manageable piece of content. It's just 10 or 12 minutes, and you get that every single day, which is amazing. So go check the Optimal Living Daily podcast out. One of my goals for 2018 is to watch more movies, and it sounds like a weird goal because a lot of people are trying to do the opposite. They're trying to cut down on their media consumption, but I actually don't watch a lot of movies, so this has been a pretty cool resolution. And one of the movies that I really loved that I watched in January is Bright. And Bright is a Netflix original movie, but it is really well produced. It has Will Smith as a cop, and it is basically a cop movie, but with a twist because it involves different races of people. So it's not just about humans. There are orcs and elves and fairies in this world that they created, and it's a cool story and I guess metaphor for race. So if you like that type of content and you like a good old-fashioned action movie, go check this out because they talk about interesting themes, and I don't know, it's just really interesting. If you're a Harry Potter fan, I feel like you would like this too. It's nothing like Harry Potter, but it has the same vibe, and definitely check it out and let me know if you watch it. So in 2018, I am trying to watch more movies, but I'm trying to cut down on my TV consumption, and that's because I tend to binge watch all my TV shows. It's just a really bad habit, but yet again, I started watching another TV show. This TV show is called The Good Place, and it's really funny. It's a sitcom. It's 20 minutes per episode, and there was about, I think, 20 episodes, and it basically follows the story of Eleanor, which is this lady who dies, and she gets sent to the good place. So it's kind of like the afterlife, and it's a play on heaven and hell. There's also the bad place, which is the equivalent to hell, and she's actually a really bad person, but she got put into the good place because of a mistake, and everyone thinks she's this other person, another Eleanor, who did these amazing things on Earth, but she's actually the total opposite. And the story of The Good Place just follows her journey in the good place and how she's trying to not get found out by all the people that are living in the good place. And this TV show is just really funny, and it talks about morals and ethics, and it's just a really funny TV show. Kirsten Bell is amazing. I think her name's Kirsten Bell. Is it Kristen Bell or Kirsten Bell? But she was Veronica Mars, and yeah, she's just a really great actress, and I really liked it, and I'm gonna start season 2 as soon as possible. I also really liked Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 3. I know a lot of people didn't like it because the beginning of the season was a little bit slow, but I still really liked it. It's just a good laugh, and honestly, the show is really pure in some ways. I think Kimmy Schmidt's personality is just something that just makes me really happy, and I wish I was more like that in my day-to-day life. Obviously, I shouldn't be that naive, but she just has such a positive outlook in life, and honestly, you still learn a lot of life lessons from this really ridiculous show, but I highly recommend it. And if you like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you should check this out. That's also one of my favorites, but I haven't really watched enough episodes this month to put it in this favorites video, but also check out Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In terms of YouTube, I've been watching a lot of Sarah Dietschy's YouTube channel. She creates vlogs, and I don't know what to call these, like mini movies or mini documentaries. She has this series called That Creative Life, and she used to have this other series called Creative Spaces TV, in which she looks at other people's different creative spaces or where they work, and it's really amazing. That Creative Life is like a continuation of that earlier series called Creative Spaces TV, and she basically just looks at different creative people and their lives and their tips and inspiration, and it's just really inspiring. Go check out her YouTube channel, and yeah, go look at her content. Another YouTube channel that I've been loving is The Futur, and this is more of like a podcast and YouTube channel. I don't listen to their podcast, but I do watch their videos, and they basically just talk about graphic design and lettering and Photoshop and Illustrator, and they just have a lot of tips. And if you really want to pursue a creative career in any of those fields, go check them out. They have a lot of tutorials, and they just have a lot of basic info on how the industry works. I don't really work in that space, but I'm really interested in graphic design and how things are done, how logos are made. So I've been watching a lot of their YouTube channel, and I really want to try out one of their tutorials. Maybe I can talk about my experiences in a future video. And now for my music favorites. You like 9 to 5, I'm the weekend, give it all, I just want to see top Porsche, rolling on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. We find love. Girl, you got me bugging, I can't run. Always something left to remind me. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Pleasure came from me. This is super random, but I actually cut my hair pretty short at the beginning of the month. I haven't had short hair in a really long time, and this video clip doesn't do it justice because it was really short when I cut it, and it's honestly so refreshing. I usually have really long hair. It's usually 3 or 4 inches long, and I usually have a comb over hairstyle, and now I have a buzz cut, and it's so low maintenance, and I love it, and this is probably the most you've seen of me ever. Another random favorite is this CosRX Centella Blemish Cream. I actually started using this in 2017, but in 2018, in January, I started using this every night, and it really made a difference in my skin. It really cleared up any hyperpigmentation that I had, and it really helped with any blemishes that I had. And I use this every night after I put on my toner and other stuff. And I know it sounds really hilarious, but I actually started getting really into skincare. I'm getting a little bit older, and I thought that this would be the best way to prevent any wrinkles and aging, so I am on the whole skincare bandwagon right now. And that just about does it for my January favorites video. Thank you so much for watching, and I apologize for not posting anything last week. It was a really hectic week, but a good week because a lot of great things happened, and maybe I can expand on that in a future video. But look forward to more journaling videos in the future because I honestly have been wanting to ramble with you guys and just journal in a very long time, but I just haven't had the time to do so. So hopefully there'll be a journal in Java or a journal with me soon, and we can catch up and chat. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with all your stationery obsessed friends. I don't know why I said that like a radio host, but actually this mic just makes me want to speak like that. But anyways, I'm rambling. Maybe that's a good thing. But I will see you all next time. Bye, guys. Wait, that's not how I say bye. Bye.